Why are you the cool kid?
I'm just chill, calm, and relaxed. That's
You make that up, or did someone give that to you?
no, I made it up myself.
You can't give yourself a nickname. That's not how it works.
It goes with my name.
No, it's funny. Earlier, we were actually talking with Itabashi Zangief, Itazan, as everyone knows him, right? And he said he gave himself that name when he was playing Virtua Fighter still. I'm like, hold on. You called yourself Itabashi Zangief while you were playing Virtua Fighter? He's like, yeah, as a joke.
Really? That like my first name, it was Mr. Coolio. Like I just wanted a name that had cool in it, and then, well, this would be a flashback. My account got suspended, so I had
Why?
another name.
No, hold on. Why?
Oh, back then, I ain't gonna lie. I used to play little anime games. I was a rage quitter back then, and they said that Xbox gave me the boot, so I made another account, and I wanted something with cool in it. So I was going with, I was born in '93, and so, of course, still a kid then, and so I just said the Cool Kid93. So
Born in 93?
yeah, I was born in '93. So
My oldest son is 2 years older than you.
Really?
Or, no, you're old. My oldest son is 2 years younger than you, but yeah, you're about the same age. Dang.
yeah, so
I don't even know what to say right now.
yeah, so that name
Be your dad.
everywhere.
That was funny. So I finally got to meet you. So we're out here at Combo Breaker, right? This is the first time I've been out here in this event. I finally got to meet you. I really wanted to talk to obviously someone local to this region, and I think you've made a pretty good name for yourself so far. I think a lot of people respect you in Street Fighter V because one, things like Red Bull Proving Grounds, they got to see you and of course other players from this region play. You made it to the what do they call it? I guess the Proving Grounds finals, right? Before we move on from that, what was your experience like playing in the Proving Grounds and then getting to the finals in SoCal?
Well, first, like my local that I go to, Ignite Gaming Lounge, we don't get like as many opportunities. Like we ain't got those big events out here necessarily. Probably like Common Break, probably like the only biggest thing we got out here. So for them, Red Bull to give us opportunity to like, showcase our skills and then give us a chance to get on an even bigger platform, bigger audience for, to see all us. It made me feel good and real happy that like we was chosen, one of the regions. Because last year it was like, I think a handful, and this year is more. But I was happy to see that we was one of the few that got picked for last year. And then competing out there, I say I don't ever get as many chances to showcase my skills. So I give it everything I got. Like every time I come out and play, especially for the Red Bull, I came up short, but I was real happy with my performance though. So, well, yeah, that's all I gotta say about it.
So I got to mention this because she's probably become maybe as much of a star because of Red Bull and people seeing you guys at events. Your wife, right? She's your wife. Yeah. She's known for being real hype. Who's this person just popping off and cheering for Cool Kid? But I think that's great. I mean. Look, not everyone gets to I guess have that when they're traveling or even like even if it's a local, like I guess that kind of support. How important is it that she supports you while you do these things?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling. It's like I never thought I'd have beautiful woman all for you and then supports you in something like this. Like growing up. Playing games, that was always like the non-cool thing to do. So to see somebody, support you in everything you do, come to these events, and it's like, it ain't like forced. Like when I see her, she actually enjoys the matches. She's starting to catch on to some of the lingo, and she loves watching me play. So she see that I enjoy doing it and love doing it, so it brings joy to her to see that I'm having fun and, her supporting me.
And having success, like she's, she gets to I guess, experience the same journey, obviously from a different perspective, but she's on that same journey with you. Look, I don't want to throw my girl under the bus or anything, but she didn't really believe in all the things I wanted to do, like getting into games journalism and fighting games, like fighting games journalism and all that. She's coming around finally, but
the first time I told her about it, and because when I first showed her like a clip of me playing on in the tournament, I'm thinking like I skipped to the end and just show I won. She rewinded it back to actually watch, and I was like, she actually watching me play. So she was counting on board, and then the first tournament that we ever went to together was Frosty Frostings a couple of years ago when Mortal Kombat was the only thing out, and she experienced the first close match ever, and she was just like heart pounding. She liked it, and then she saw like the passion that I had for it. So from that point, she was on board with it. Then, so she saw I was serious about it.
So at that event, was she like at Frosty Faustin? Was she like
Loud.
popping up yet?
Yeah. So that was like I said, that was my first time seeing it too. So I'm like, oh.
You weren't embarrassed, were you?
Oh no, just like the screaming, it just caught me off guard. But now I'm used to it. I'm used to it now.
No, that's great. Yeah, so you went to Proving Grounds, played there. You've traveled more, obviously, to different events. We're here, like I said, at Combo Breaker. When you look at how esports has grown, let's start with locally. How do you feel about like that growth with whether it's Street Fighter V, like Injustice 2 just came out, so there's ESL's Pro League there. How has that affected the region, locally here, the region with sort of the growth and opportunities that are available now?
It's amazing because like just back when I was playing like Street Fighter 4, this one I really won in tournaments then. And tournaments was like pretty big back then, but like compared to now, like I never expected it to be now, like how it is now. To see us on TV when they did ESPN for Evo last year, it's just amazing. And then with the Red Bull thing, it like I noticed even from last year to now, like it done flip. Like I can say I'm probably like what, 4th place now. Like I can see that people got more hungry, better, and having those events like that, it gives people a reason, or at least from my local to like work harder, train harder, because we got something to go towards. Because before it was just like you want to, of course you want to get better by default, but it's like for people that don't get to travel as much, it's like you getting better for what? It's like if you can't really get a chance to travel like that. So at least we got the Red Bull to kind of practice towards, and then with the sponsors and stuff being more big than it was back then, so it's a beautiful thing. I'm real happy, and to see people like I lost my train of thought, but
So for this region, how would you compare with everything that's happened in the last couple of years and that growth? How would you compare this region now to other regions? Obviously West Coast, East Coast has always been the strong regions in fighting games, Street Fighter especially. I think the South, like Texas, that area has always been a little bit underrated. But now because of things like Proving Grounds, and especially this year with more regions involved, Canada, Seattle, the Midwest. Like, how would you compare this region to other regions as far as like how strong it is?
Well, I say now, we got something to like practice towards, because before then it was just like you practice, then it's like you kind of hit that ceiling because you like, what is we practicing towards? It's just like we just practicing to get better, keep beating each other, at our locals. Then it's like, we ain't really going to no tournaments or nothing like that. We ain't got no sponsors. What is it all for? So now I feel like we one of them groups, at least, for our local, real undercover. Like, we got some real strong players, and the Red Bull made it, much better because everybody been practicing. People that, like, I say Brian F., like, even though he not from Chicago, but he, like, kind of close to the area. Last year, he wasn't doing as good, and then this year, he just been going off. Like, I don't know who made Brian mad, but he just been going off everywhere he went. Even some other people that wasn't like as big doing it last year. Guy named Eric C. Like, some people don't know these players, but we know them to be like real good. And then since we sold, under the radar, when some of us beat, the notable players, it comes as a surprise. But like to us, it's like we've been practicing and putting in the work. So.
before we get into some Street Fighter V specifics, I do want to ask you about ESL. You went on ESL King of the Hill recently. We'll talk about some specifics as to maybe why the performance the way it was. But what was that like? You know, you did play Alex, and obviously we know in season 2 he's not as great as he was in season 1. We'll get started on that in just a minute. But what was that like? Because you know, look, Kyle P from Seattle went on recently, and he was like, "Hey, I've never played." And we play casuals, right? We might play 20 games, 40 games, whatever, right? But when you're playing like a first to 10 long set, like for something, right? It's different. So what was that experience like? You know, you've played in tournaments, best 2 out of 3, 3 out of 5, but then you got to play this first to 10. What was that like?
So, at first, when I first gave it to me, emailed me about it, I was like, man, potentially I'm doing 2 first to 10s, and then if it go back and forth, that's like a lot of matches basically. And you know, my wife, she reminded me like, you play that many matches at home, and I was like, well, that is true because I ain't think about it like that. The only difference is like you play, you know, different people, but it's like I know I play Adam, I could play him like at least like 3 first to 5s, like so mentally like I was ready, and you know, she always had me ready for drinks to keep me hydrated. So when I went out there, I knew to get drinks to keep me hydrated. Yeah, I just played it like I was at home. I ain't feel drained or exhausted or fatigued. So, and to like prepare myself for it, I was just, you know, I always had that belief that, you know, just believe in yourself. And, you know, if you don't believe in yourself or believe in your characters, then it'll affect you. You'll see it in your gameplay. So I'll just, and I don't get as many opportunities as other people. So when I went out there, I was just like, I'm going to just do my best and give it my all. So this can be the chance that they really see who I am and how I play with my characters.
Did you feel good about that? I mean, it didn't in the way you hoped, but did you feel about the good about the experience?
Oh, yeah, I felt real good. Like, I basically was able to showcase Alex in 10 games because, you know, it's different when you kind of do it like a 2 out of 3. You don't really see too much, but to see, you know, the adaptations, the setups, everything, just seeing it spread out between 10 matches, you know, I was happy that people was able to see my Alex more because normally when I post videos of Alex, it's like compilations or highlights. So, you know, a lot of people don't get to see me play him just like in a long match without you know, they get to see my mistakes and stuff I drop, you know, so I was happy to, you know, show him off. And then even Rashid, I was able to show him off more. People see it as like my showcase for both characters because of how well I did that, but I didn't think I'd do, like I felt confident in myself, but I didn't think I'd do as good as I did.
So, I mean, we see the Rashid here, but you do play Alex also. Who did you start with, actually?
I started with Rashid. I've been playing Rashid.
Well, obviously, because Alex was DLC character, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So Rashid was literally like the very first character I played with. I was playing him since the beta, like before the game itself launched. And when I saw him in the trailer, I'm like, he getting played with. Because Street Fighter 4, my main was Cody. So when I saw the tornadoes, I'm like, oh, Rashid definitely getting played with. Besides the character design I like, I'm like, oh, he got tornadoes. This fit perfectly for me. And then the reason I picked Alex is I played Ferrito in Mortal Kombat. He was like my first grappler. So I'm like, I kind of like the fear that to give people knowing that I got a command.
I play Colleen, and I don't like playing Alex players.
and I saw, and Alex, he looked cool to me too. I ain't not played an older Street Fighter game, so this was my first time ever using him. He looked cool to me too, and I'm like, his moveset look nice, and he got a power bomb. I love wrestling, so he got a power bomb. I'm like, in a backdrop, I'm like, I gotta use him. Like,
so season 1 was, I guess, it took a while for people to kind of figure out Rashid, right? As far as like how to use the character, people always felt he was kind of low tier, and it turns out, you know, actually he's a pretty good character. Like a lot of Japanese players now consider him top tier. Between Rashid and also Alex, Alex not being, I think, a great character in season 1, Right. What did you learn in season 1 about, I guess, yourself and playing these characters, and then what did you learn from season 1 coming into season 2 about yourself and these characters?
Well, playing, excuse me, playing both characters, like they got like a real different style to them. Like one just extremely explosive, and then the other one is more slow and passive. And it kind of helped me, for both of them. Like using Alex, it kind of helped me to see like, well, specifically for like his play style, like kind of how people react when they see me do forward fears and things of that nature. And then, you know, people don't really worry about tech and grabs against Alex because they're more worried about trying to jump away, and things like that. And then Rashid is like, they worry about tech and grabs. It's a lot of things that play into it because you got to switch your whole play style up.
Right now,
like,
in my mind, I'm already playing out a 50-50. I don't know, like, tech this grab or not.
Yeah, it's like a whole different, mindset going into both of them because Alex, I got to play more passive and kind of wait for them to mess up a little bit. Rashid, I can just, like, get my game going, like, right away. So it's interesting to use, like, two different styles rather than and it helps me to not be one-dimensional because it's like I learned something new with Rashid, then it's like, well, maybe I can kind of apply this somehow with Alex, So it helps me as a player to not be, like, one-dimensional and just, like, have tunnel vision, like one play style. So
Do you feel it's important to have multiple, to play multiple characters in this game? Like, yes, there are probably a handful of characters you could get away with only playing one character. But if you play, as in your case, a couple characters who are not, the top tier, right? Do you feel it's important to play multiple characters?
yeah, but like you say, certain characters you probably don't need to. But yeah, like in my case, it was just like, well, I didn't use Alex because I felt like I needed backup, but it was just like because I liked him.
But in hindsight now, do you think it's important to have that?
Oh yeah, because there's certain times I done lost with Rashid, even though he the better character between the two. I switched to Alex and I do better. Like, before I go forward, I forgot to say when the game first dropped, Rashid and Zangief was my first two.
Okay.
So once Alex dropped, I'm like, I felt like he was actually better than Geef at the time, so I'm gonna drop him. Tried to pick Geef up again. The magic wasn't that no more, so I just left it alone.
Okay.
But anyway, like when I like the last ESL when I played K-Brad, he was beating my Rashid. I think it was like 5-0 then, and I say Rashid better than Alex, but I picked Alex against him, and I ended up winning not 5 games straight, but I managed to make it, win 5 games just with Alex. So it definitely comes in handy using two characters. Sometimes it can bite you because you might put in more time one character over the other, but I feel like overall it's better to have like more than one character. Not too many, but just like at least a good amount that you can manage, and not feel like you're using one way more than the other. So yeah, that's all I got to say.
In your opinion, why the heck would they nerf Alex?
All right, want me to be blunt? I feel like they don't know what they're doing with Alex. That's why I make these videos about his problems and things, because they might make the game, but they not the ones that's out here playing every day, playing online, experiencing the struggle of some of these characters. So I really don't think they know exactly what they're doing with Alex. Because sometimes I think about like maybe if they buffed him too much, he might be too good. But to the degree that they nerfed him from 1 to 2, it was like I don't know what happened. Like other characters winning tournaments made him get nerfed. That's how I feel. And like I say, I make the videos to not to insult them or nothing like that, but to just help them. Because it's a lot of people. I do this for other people that love to play Alex, and some dropped him just because he was bad. I play him because I'm stubborn and I love the character. But, I make these videos so they can see, they ain't got to give me exactly what I want, but at least you can see the problems they got so they can work towards it. So, like, his standing jab anti-air, everybody hated that. But when they said they was going to take it away, it's like he got his taken away, like, the worst. And then the ones that didn't need it, they still have it. Like you see, Nicali can still take you out the air, and I think everybody know he definitely don't need it. And it's like Alex, his EX Negus, it trades. Crouching heavy, it's okay, it trades. Then standing light punch is like, can't even use it. It's almost like you get scared to even put somebody in the corner. Because it's like, if they jump out, you screwed. You don't have no 3-frame or V reversal, or you got a slow V reversal. So, yeah, so I
You have someone in the corner, but the 50-50's on you.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, I really don't think they know really what's the problem with Alex, but I'm here to help and make videos. Like, I'm gonna keep doing it till we move on to another Street Fighter or something. I don't care how long it takes, because like I say, I'm not doing it just me. It's other people that really love Alex and want to play him, and I feel like you shouldn't have to put time into a character for him to just get his legs cut off and you feel like you're handicapping yourself using them. So I feel like every character, I feel like we're at a point, every character kinda, for the most part, is like viable. Then you got like a handful, very few that kind of can't make it by themselves. And I feel like it shouldn't be like that. And season 1, he was, like I told you, manageable. He was one of the characters, he had the tools, and it's like, if a real good player use them, they can win. It's like now, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's just like extremely hard. So
You're not seeing Alex's in top 8s, right? I know you're looking forward to season 2 updates, or well, the upcoming update. I don't know what we call it, 2.5, the balance patch 2.5. With those updates, I guess how much more viable do you think he can be? Can you kind of get to maybe where you were with season 1? Do you think he can get better? Will it take a little bit more massaging on this character? Like, how viable?
Yeah, I feel like, because originally when they first gave the patch notes, like I said, it's I was still negative. I'm like, it still ain't season 1, and also that helps, or it butchers me, like when I be negative, because it'll affect my play style, because it's like some happen in the game, and then I'll be like, if they only had it like season 1, that'll start affecting my game, and then it'll just, I feel like it'll make me do worse. So, in the way I see it now, I actually enjoy, well, the beta when it came out, I actually enjoyed that version, because his normals was back. Not I said one like season 1, but they are back, and I actually can, stick out normals if I want to, and not feel like I'm about to get crush countered immediately. I can use my elbow again, and I got a little more life to work with. And I think the little charge thing they did, that was an indirect buff for him too, because he can do his I could do standing normals into the down charges easier now. So at least he can, it ain't like guaranteed setups, but at least he can kind of, tip the game in his favor a little bit more now that the down charge or the standing normal stuff is easier to do. So I actually like it. It's, he still got problems, but it's a step in the right direction. So hopefully season 3 be like the real thing, and I feel like the last thing I will say about this one is that I feel like season 2 should have been what he got now. It should have been what he got now. I say, because I don't know what they was thinking, what problem that they see that was on the horizon from season 1, but I feel like this, what he about to get, is what originally should have been for season 2. Yeah, and the EX, I know you see the EX air knee. Like, I still don't get why they took the Oki away from that. It's like, I spent the bar to anti-air. At least let me get my Oki. It ain't like I can combo it on the ground like Laura, like a target combo. Then the thing is like, it's an anti-air. So, like I say, I'm more towards the positive side. So I'm very happy with Alex, and I say I'm gonna use him regardless. I'm stubborn when it comes to Alex, so I'm gonna use him regardless.
Do you like Street Fighter 5?
I like my characters in Street Fighter 5.
I mean, given all we talked about, obviously it's tough, but do you like Street Fighter 5?
Yeah, I enjoy the game. I'm one of them people, I won't just bash it for the sake of it, because it's the cool thing to do. I feel like it's a game that is a bit easier than, all the other games. Like, I hated Street Fighter 4 towards the end, because once I played Cross Tekken, I felt like any style could have worked. You can play, have your own style, the combo variety, because I played a team that nobody used. I played Cody and Bob. Nobody's seen that team, and it's like any style could have worked. You see now it's like, like I always say, I think I'm like probably like one or two V trigger setups away from looking like any other Rashid. It's just like, you know, I feel like the game is like, I feel like it's easy, but of course the tops, it still remain consistent, but I still feel like the game is much easier than the other ones. That's why I don't know if they want these upsets to happen, the hype, the esports and stuff, but I definitely feel like it's a bit more easier. I do like the game mainly because of the characters I play, and I don't, season one was fine, minus the Chun-Li and stuff, but season two, it it made it feel like you have to play these characters, you have to play them this way, because like Rashid and he had some unique things in season one, and then now it's like just rush down, rush down, rush down. And it was like before you was kind of able to kind of switch it up a little bit, and it's like I don't like how the game punish you for using a character that you like, and then they get nerfed real hard. Now it's like now you just stuck, you just in a loop. So
You mentioned like the comebacks, right? Like that's a huge part of this game. We see it with a lot of different characters. Uh, in the past, that's something that as viewers, we're like we get all hype about a good comeback, right? Now it's a pretty common thing in Street Fighter V, but you mentioned that and sort of the esports side of it, the spectator side of it. Really, do you feel like that's an issue with Street Fighter V, sort of appealing, I guess, to the idea of like, hey, we want to make this spectator friendly, so like comebacks and high damage. It's almost like if all you need is that one hit to finish someone off, now you're at the disadvantage because you're the one that's got to fish for that one hit, and they can just wait for whatever comeback utility they have. Do you feel like that's an issue with this game? Is that sort of a positive or a negative?
yeah, like I get scared. Well, depending on what character I play, like I get scared that they low on life and they got like V trigger. Mainly Laura, Balrog. I ain't really got hit with the Urian stuff really, but definitely Laura and Balrog. And I feel like the comebacks in this version, because I don't think it was really that bad in season one. I feel like in season two, the comebacks are more forced. Rather than like
Because of like those characters actually that have come up in the tiers, the Balrogs. I mean, Laura was actually always pretty good regardless. Season one to season two. I don't think she changed a whole lot, but yeah, the Urians, the Balrogs. So we're seeing more of that.
yeah.
And so yeah, I can definitely understand that.
So it's like rather than it being natural, like in Cross Tekken, Street Fighter 4, any other, well, mainly the Street Fighter games. The comebacks, it was rare, and so when it happened, it was just like super exciting. Now it's like you almost can kind of like feel it's coming depending on what character you play. That's why I feel like it's a bit more forced, and I'm one of the people that feel like a game shouldn't, like it can still be appealing to like be spectator friendly, but I feel like it shouldn't appeal to, well, not even gonna say appeal, but like make it easy for others to get in, because I believe that if somebody want to play a game, they gonna put their time into it. At the end of the day, the casuals or the ones that want to get into it, they gonna go on to the next big game that come out. The ones that love their game and complain about it, yeah, the ones that's gonna stick around like myself, because people can see me on Twitter. I rant all the time about Street Fighter V and Alex, and Laura too, but I still be right here playing the game, But I just wish, they can kind of like balance it, because it's just some things like the crush counter. Like if you can read, like remember how they explained the crush counters back then? It was gonna be like this super, you know, damaging move, and then they say it was gonna be real punishable. Then you look at what we got now. It's like, I love me some Rashid, but I would crouch and heavy like all day, and I get a crush count, and I'm not unsafe. So, I still got faith in them. I feel like they could turn it around, because just like how Street Fighter 4 was, it was a little rocky at first, and then
It took a few years.
by the ending days, they got it together. So I'm still hopeful for Street Fighter 5.
Kind of related to what we just talked about when it comes to I mean, I feel like this is a very offense-heavy game. Things like crush counters, right? If you land a crush counter, it's like 50, 60%. You're done. You're done. This is a very offensive-heavy game. If you're a defensive style player, a reaction style player, traditionally, from what we've seen in the past year and a half or so, good luck, right? You're struggling. Do you think this game would, and of course, based on how this game's built, you can't just introduce like some wholesale defensive options because it just changes the whole, you know, spectrum of this entire game. But do you feel like this game is too offensive heavy? Could there be some better defensive options in Street Fighter Five?
Yeah, I feel like it could. Like, I always reference back to Cross Tech because I feel like that's the game that had everything to me. It had problems, but ultimately, I feel like it had everything. Like I say, you could play how you want. You could be defensive, offensive. So, I feel like in the season one, I feel like V reversals was pretty good, you know, back then. And it's like now they like real slow. You know, you barely can use them, and it's just like even some characters got it worse than others. Like I say, that's why I say like Alex. If I'm in a corner, you know, it's like I'm basically screwed. Like his V reversal's so slow. Somebody could do like not a super slow normal, but they could do certain things, and they can react in time to sit there and grab me. And it's like I wish they give, you know, better options. Like the jump ins, you know, it just feel too easy to jump. And it's like you get more reward.
The risk is the
Yeah.
the reward off that risk is worth it.
Yeah, like you get more off a jump in than a person sitting there doing an anti-air. And I remember it's funny because back then for cross teching, people used to complain about how strong anti-airs was because if you jump, you lost like a good percent of your life depending on what team you was playing against. And people hated that anti-airs was so strong back then. Now we at the point where jump ins are too strong. Now people say jump ins are too strong, but back then anti-airs was too strong. So, you know, I just wish they kind of just let us play defensive if we want to, and not feel like we just gotta go in every second of the match.
I don't know if I've seen you talk about this, but I'm gonna ask you. Give me your top 5 characters.
Top 5 characters, Street Fighter Five. No order, but I feel like Laura, Balrog, Guile, okay, Cammy, and then I don't want to say Urian because I feel like Urian that's just like the thing everybody talk about. I hate Urian, but I don't think he like top 5 ish. I don't know, but I know my 4 is definitely Balrog, Laura, Guile, and Cammy. Now, oh yeah, Karen, yes, that's the one I was thinking about. So, yeah, Karen, like now they talk about Alex normals getting slowed down. Like that character can just medium, and just roundhouse sweep all day. Like it's, you know, not take away from anybody that use Karen, but you know, we all do not have to sugarcoat about Karen. That character, the normals and the damage she do, and then the reset that they supposedly took away is just ridiculous.
I was gonna ask you 5 worst characters, but generally I think it's sort of the same list. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts if you've ever even thought about this. And you can of course include the characters you play, but what do you think are the 5 characters that could, whether they're the worst or just maybe mid tier, they could get better? What do you think are 5 characters that could kind of use more loving to be better? It doesn't necessarily mean they have to be like the bottom tier characters or like the worst characters, but what 5 characters, or maybe 5's too many, what 3 characters do you think Capcom could do to kind of like give some more loving and make them better?
Starting from season 2, so it would definitely be Alex, Fang, and Ryu. I feel like even though it's a guy here, I think his name Joel, he going off with Ryu right now, but I feel like it shouldn't be like, oh, this one dude just doing super good Ryu. Like it shouldn't be like one in a million. Like I feel like it should be
Like Bonchan and Nash?
yeah, like exactly. Like And I ain't, and that's the thing too. Like I barely even seen Nash since this season started. So I would say Nash needs some more love too, but I don't know like how.
Oh, he's getting it. He's getting some of it back.
Like I don't know to the degree like how bad they did him, but I know, Ryu really got hit. My buddy GLB, he used to use Ryu in season 1. He said he spent 5 minutes with him when this season came out, and he just dropped him. And I feel like nobody should have to drop a character they put so much time into, and then they just get like everything took away from them. I understand things might change, but like just everything that made the character who they was, they shouldn't lose that. And then like I say, Alex could use a bit more love. I never, like when I talk about him on Twitter, I never say I want him to be top 10. I just want him to be a character again, not a handicap character. Like a character that, you know, you pick him, you don't feel like, I hope I made the right choice. Like, you know, you just go in there with confidence. I feel like that's how every character should be. So him, Alex, Fang, and Ryu, I feel like they can use some more love.
Where can you? I know you post videos and stuff like that. Where can people find you? I'm assuming you stream as well. Where can people find you on all of those different platforms?
So I'm on PlayStation 4, of course, the Cool Kid93, and then Twitter is at Redmond 2393. That's my last name. It's Redmond, and then 2393. And then for Facebook is just my full name, Marcus Redmond. And then let me see, I already gave Twitter. YouTube. Oh yeah, my YouTube. Yeah, so my YouTube is my my tag name, the Cool Kid93. As soon as you put that in, you'll see my name. And then for Twitch, it's the Cool Kid93 too. It's
branding people.
Yeah. I told you, once I changed my name, I just stuck with it. No matter how old I get, it's gonna be Kid forever. And my Twitch is the_cool_kid93.
What's next for you as far as tournaments go?
The plan is to I want to go to CEO. Okay. I say I love wrestling, and it's like that's kind of like the themed event. And I always think about me getting in the ring to play. Like
you've seen they do the exhibition where everyone has their own entrance, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's my favorite.
What's your entrance?
Oh, it'll be Randy Orton. That's my favorite. Randy Orton, my favorite. And me and my wife, we was thinking about going to Evo, but Evo a little on the expensive side, and I think we kind of waited a little too long, so kind of trying to get those tickets and all that stuff. I'd rather just wait another year, Lord willing. And so the plan is to go to CEO. And then besides that, you know, finish Red Bull, and hopefully I make it out so I can fly out to Proving Grounds again. But till then, I'll just be streaming and getting my Alex together. So,
anything else you want to say?
Only thing I want to add is that, you know, because I know my wife will be watching, I love you and thank you for supporting me in everything I do. My family, Chicago, Wave, thank all y'all, and I love y'all. That's it.
Cool Kid93, stay cool. I know, I just had to throw it out there, right? It's good to finally chat. I wish you all the best. I hope that you do make it out to CEO, because I'll see you there. And yeah, I'd like to see you and other players, whether it's this Chicago area, or like we said, Red Bull Proving Grounds is focusing on a lot of new areas this year, so that's good. Really want to see more regions come up with fighting games in Street Fighter V. So again, appreciate you taking some time out to talk. Good luck with everything. Cool Kid93, I'm Michael Martin, and this is Yahoo Esports.